who represent the majority of the non-union folks, but this goes to also the non-union folks throughout the town. And seeing as I am affected by this, I will recuse myself from this action and turn the con over to Mr. Nickerson.
I have the con, Captain. Ms. Hardy and I met as a subcommittee. We had some discussions with the non-union reps. Folks, this is our management team. This is the very same team who is returning $475,000 back to the town in what was already a very tight budget, and consistently do that. I think we're up to $3 million over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, being returned back to our taxpayers. Taxpayer money being returned. This is the team. This is the team responsible. The ongoing agreement with this group is they are not represented by a union. The hiring agreement is they get the best of the best, whatever the best contract is on the street that particular year, with all the different unions, non-educational unions, that is. They get that percentage. And this year it's a 3%, and we just actually we approved the IAFF agreement, and that's a 3%. Payable in 2 installments, 1.5% in now in July, and another 1.5% in January. Anything to add? So we asked for your consent by approval.
Make a motion.
Yeah, present your.
I shouldn't, as a subcommittee, as the chair of the sub. So
Well, I can't do it. I can't do it. So.
Do you want? You could do it.
I can do it. I'll make a motion
Go for it,
to
Mark.
approve the non-union COLA increase at 1.5% July, 1.5% January, for a total of 3% increase for our non-union reps, our management team in town.
Second.
Okay. Any comment? Okay, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? It carries unanimously. And should I call the captain back in, or should I just keep
No,
going?
leave him out there.
Leave them out there. Let's just keep on a
Yeah?
roll.
No, I think it's probably be considered mutiny, and that wouldn't be a good thing. Yeah.
You'll have to walk the plank.
Yeah. For the second or third time
Yeah.
this week. He may have left the building.
I'm back.
Yeah. Should have warned you it wasn't going to be a long period of time.
Okay.
We've made Monday Mark Nickerson Day.
Ah,
Every Monday.
Yeah.
he's been doing that for years, so,
In my own mind.
okay. We're ready to go?
Yes.
Next item is the action from the public hearing, then act water conservation measures. Right?
Correct.
Okay. I just skipped over my thing here. So we would need a motion to impose these mandatory water conservation measures effective July 4th, 2014 as
I
presented?
just before I make that motion,
Yeah.
I just maybe get some comment on the wading pool issue that one of our residents brought up. You know, the little kitty 3-year-old wading pools in the backyard. Any comments on that? Any thoughts on that? It makes somewhat.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
think
the
given-
Toys R Us thing.
Given the rain and the potential rain coming with the hurricane and some of the others, the fact that the water the regional interconnection is going to
Yeah.
probably be online in a month from now, it would seem to make sense that small wading pools could be exempted from this.
Good. If you guys
Yeah.
are in agreement, I am in agreement with that. It made a lot of sense from one of our newer residents in town.
So
Good
we'll
point.
Sometimes a fresh voice is a good thing, you know,
we'll
new
strike
eyes.
and waiting.
Yes. So move the following, effective July 4th, 2014. While the restrictions will be in effect from 9 a.m. on Friday, July 4th through noon on Monday of each week until further notice. The following restrictions will apply to all customers of East Lyme Water System. 1. Prohibiting the sprinkling, watering, or irrigation of lawns. 2. Prohibiting washing of motor vehicles and the outdoor surfaces of all buildings, structures, sidewalks, and driveways. 3. Prohibiting the filling or cleaning of swimming pools. And 4. Prohibiting the service of water to customers of public restaurants except at the specific request of customers. Persons found violating any of the provisions of the restrictions imposed by the Board of Selectmen shall be fined not more than $99. In the case of a continuing violation, each day's continuance thereof shall be deemed to be a separate and distinct offense. These restrictions are in effect July 4th, 2014, and will remain in effect until further notice.
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And should a part of the motion be that the first selectman has the authority to suspend these with the action of the completion of the interconnection, or necessary? I know we did something like that last year. Is that necessary, Brad, or do we don't have to come back for a vote to suspend these, do we, or do we officially?
It says until further notice.
And
Yeah.
if you give a notice,
There you go. Until further notice.
Is the notice okay for me to give?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
So note that the Board of Selectmen has indicated in the minutes that I shall give the further notice.
Yeah, you can,
How's
you
that?
can,
Okay?
you can lift the
Or the
restriction.
deputy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. On Monday, you can do that.
On Mondays.
All right. Thank you very much.
2H.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Brad. Thank you, too,
Can I
Dave.
ask a question on that?
Yes, please.
Do lawns include gardens?
No, they do not.
They do not.
No.
That has come up a lot.
Yeah.
Keep-
No.
it doesn't-
Ornamentals not included, gardens not included, just
Flowers,
lawns.
or flowers, it's basically lawns.
Okay, the next item is the request for approval of the Powerhouse account expenditure of $200 for sign craft for a photo collage.
Well, I'll move to approve that request of the Commission on Aging for $200 expenditure from the Powerhouse account payable to Signcraft for photo collage.
Second.
Made second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone
Abstain.
opposed? Motion carries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1. Okay, the next item is the sign call. Now, let me just see, before we do that. I believe this next item that we added on falls under the number necessary for a town meeting.
Mhm.
That's correct, so we don't need to add it to the sign call. Okay, so the sign call at this point would only have the Bayreuther property on it.
And the air
And the
pack.
air
And Scott
packs.
Packs, yeah.
And what?
The air packs.
Air
And the
packs.
Scott Air Packs, okay, yeah.
These two, right, at the end.
1 and 2,
Yeah.
okay,
That's what I have.
okay, good.
Right,
Okay.
go for it.
Then, sign call, special town meeting on August 6, 2014. Town of East Lyme, notice of special town meeting. Notice is hereby given a special town meeting of the Town of East Lyme to be held on Wednesday, August 6, 2014, at 7 p.m. at the East Lyme Town Hall Upper Meeting Room to act upon the following. 1. To consider and act upon special appropriation in the amount of $205,045 for the purpose of acquiring by way of lease or purchase 4.5 Scott Air Packs bottles and masks, as evidenced by one or more agreements for the acquisition of said self-contained breathing apparatus by lease or purchase or combination thereof, for a total price of $197,180 plus interest at a rate of 1.55% per annum, payable in annual installments of $41,009, which is $3,417.41 a month over a period of 5 years. 2. Special appropriation, $25,000 purchase of Bayreuther property. To consider and act upon a special appropriation in the amount of $25,000 from Open Space Fund 59 to purchase the property located on Assessor's Map 22, Lot 1 at abutting Quarry Dock Road. The first selectman is authorized to execute in the name on and behalf of the town a contract to purchase said property at the above price, subject to usual and customary adjustments and contingencies, and also subject to approval of the proposed purchase by the appropriate boards, commissions, and agencies of the town. The first selectman is also authorized to execute a declaration of conservative easement and restrictions regarding the use of the property in favor of Friends of Oswegatchie Hills Nature Preserve, Inc. 3, to transact any other business proper to come before the town, before the meeting. Dated East Lyme, Connecticut, the 2nd day of July, 2014, East Lyme Board of Selectmen.
Second.
Call has been made and seconded. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. We've added this item, special appropriation of up to $17,300 for DOT 2014 high-risk rural road speed enforcement. This is a grant that the East Lyme PD is applying for. It's for enforcement, high-speed enforcement. It's 100% reimbursable to the town. It also includes 2 new handheld speed laser units for the town to own and replace our old and outdated equipment. There you go. I guess that explains it.
That's it?
Yep.
I got it.
You want me to do something, Mark?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Go for it, Mark.
Mark, go.
Kevin.
I'll give you a break. Move the following, special appropriation of up to $20,000 police speed enforcement grant reimbursable. Move to approve a special appropriation in the amount of up to $17,300 as follows. $13,000 to account 501-25-216-100-519 grant overtime, and $4,300 to account 501-70-725-720-465 police traffic enforcement grant, and to corresponding revenue account 501-03-300-006 police overtime grants, and forward to the Board of Finance for approval.
Motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
Question.
Second. Is there discussion?
Up to 20,000, and then we say 17.3.
I don't.
Special
That was just
appropriation of up to 20,000,
first
and
line of-
then move to approve a special appropriation in the amount of 17.3.
Yeah, the first part was just the line for 2J, and then the actual motion was moved to approve the special
I
appropriation.
don't think we
The-
need the
So
20, right?
so
No,
the special doesn't, none of that made,
So,
it's not even there.
so no, right.
No.
Shouldn't even be involved in it.
That was kind of the title of
Okay.
what the DOT has made available, up to 20,000.
Okay.
We're using 17.
17.3, correct? All right.
So the motion is for
The mo-
17.
So what we're moving on to the Board of Finance is the 17.3, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So, where are we? Motion is made
Yep.
and seconded. We're in discussion.
All in favor?
Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Business entity listing, Ms. Harding?
Nothing to report.
Okay. No communications, ex officio reports?
Nothing from me. No one's.
The
Ms.
Planning
Harding?
Commission met last evening and heard a special presentation on salt marshes, the preservation of them, and then the planning for future areas that could support salt marshes, considering what's happening with global trends. And the speaker particularly pointed out several areas in town that we might consider making protected areas, because these would support in the future additional salt marshes. There apparently are services available to help the town plan for these, and these services would be available at no additional cost to the town. So I think the Planning Commission is quite interested in that, as well as the Commission for Natural Resources. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Wilson?
I want to say that we had a wonderful graduation at East Lyme High School. Ms. Hardy gave out almost $81,000 in her comrades gave out $81,000 worth of awards to students, and it was a phenomenal evening. And the weather held out for us, and it was really, 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 really good. And I think that for me, it was my last one that I know of. So, but anyway, it was wonderful. And Paul, thank you very much. And East Lyme schools have been phenomenal.
Thank you.
Just zoning, just some more outdoor dining approvals and scheduling public hearings for still some repairs relating to Superstorm Sandy, but that's it. And I should have mentioned this when the Friends were here. I don't know if any of you saw in the paper the largest ever bequest to the Community Foundation of Eastern Connecticut, specifically targeted for land preservation. Yeah, no. We're waiting on his. Land preservation and animal welfare, and for all of the parties interested in preservation. Also, it might be a chance for the people looking at the Waterford, East Lyme, our possible animal shelter. There may very well be some grants available there. So I think that's something we should keep in mind, because it's close to $9 million. That's a lot of money to be dispersed. So, and that's my report.
I did, in fact, call Allison today, make arrangements to go to that meeting in terms of our ACO thing, so.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Few things, I'm gonna, a quick Gateway update. We went to the groundbreaking. I believe Ms. Cheeseman and I went there, and the groundbreaking for the apartments in the back, 280 units for Gateway, that's moving forward. They'll be going before the zoning commission to talk about the entryway to accommodate Costco and the modification of the grants. I'm sorry, the grants, the changing of the highway exits and on-ramps. So that's moving forward. The boardwalk, we have executed the agreements with Amtrak for both the easements and the requirements to work within and on their, within 25 feet and on their property in terms of repair. The contractor is gearing up for that. You see some material being located at the upper level of McCook's, and some of the area will be cordoned off. That pavilion, by the way, will not be available for public use during the construction period, but we have put a tent up there so that the public that was used to the pavilion can use the tent, which is larger than the pavilion was, and that's owned by the Park and Rec Department. They'll be building first a access road down behind the pavilion, in between the pavilion and the railroad tracks, entering behind the beach and entering the boardwalk, and there'll be gate attendants to direct the traffic. We're going to try to keep the beach open as much as we can. The hours of operation, I believe, are going to be 7 to 3, give or take, in terms of construction. So we're going to take it on a day-by-day basis, but there are 2 park attendants that are scheduled, and a fenced and gate system to make sure that people are protected as they come under hole in the wall and use the beach while the boardwalk is being constructed. The solar farm up there is had some issues with regard to the runoff. Gary Gaishel has been on that pretty good in conjunction with the Siting Council. They moved to direct the contractor to do certain requirements as recommended by the Inland Wetlands Commission and Mr. Gaishel in terms of mitigating the flow of the water off that site. There's a meeting tomorrow. I'll be up there early in the morning to go over that and see how they're doing. I believe that they were authorized to turn the switch on. One of the things I'm going to check tomorrow is whether they are in fact operational at this point in time, and then see what the rest of the modifications are. So I'll keep you posted on that. I attended the 50th anniversary of Tobin and Carberry, who have done great work in the region and also for our town, so we congratulate them on that anniversary. I joined Representative Jutila in a kind of Friends of Oswegatchie, along with about 100 middle school students, with Commissioner of DEEP Clee, as we walked through Oswegatchie Hills, and we had a nice hike. We had held a heroin forum here with about 50 some odd people showed up who were interested in this epidemic. I mentioned, I think, to this board in the past that the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities is also convening a task force. We have over 20 towns that are participating in that, and this is just an item that needs to be brought into the sunlight. These heroin addictions are caused by first becoming addictive to prescription drugs and then moving into heroin because it's much cheaper. There are other reasons as well, but this has become the new predominant reason. And the target groups that seem to be affected by this, believe it or not, are middle-aged housewives, which is a large group that's being affected among others. So this is an item that we hope to take the forefront and work with different cities around the state to try to see what we can do to stop this problem. As you say, we've had 2 overdose deaths this year here in the town of East Lyme. Attended Mr. Joel Uhas's Eagle Scout ceremony, the opening for the Charter Oak Bank in Waterford, which is a magnificent facility. It's huge. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
it. My
Thing
God,
is
it's
monster.
beautiful. So they had a nice opening over there. I was at the Central Rail Corridor press conference held by Congressman Courtney last week to talk about moving that effort forward. Again, we're waiting for the Tiger Grant to propose to give us about $8.3 million to upgrade those tracks so that they can accommodate freight. The benefit being it would open up the Port of New London and economic opportunities up and down that track. We had a conference call with Moody's today. Looks like we'll be able to keep our credit rating the same, although we'll wait for the official word. They did indicate that things were looking good on that as we prepare for some bond offerings and the refunding that we talked about at the last few meetings. At the last department head, I hosted an employee appreciation lunch that was paid for by me, just to show the employees in this town how much I appreciate them and how much they're appreciated on behalf of the Board of Selectmen and the rest of the community for all the hard work they do. So we had a nice lunch.
Thank you very
back
much. It
in the
was
pavilion.
very well appreciated and tasted great. So that's all that matters, really, right?
Good, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did a little bit of the serving, but none of the cooking, so I can't take any.
No, the boys did the cooking. Yeah.
You had to have youth in there now.
Yeah.
As Rob mentioned, we all attended the high school graduation and the middle school graduation I attended to watch I saw my favorite goddaughter get moved from the middle school to the high school. Good
That was
luck.
nice also. That was,
Good luck.
2 nights of
Yeah.
what they thought were going to be crazy weather, and we made it through all of that. That was awesome.
And it's just, that, it just really highlighted, as you, I think, spoke to the benefit of the community that we live in.
Yeah.
It's just a nice way to do it. And I just feel bad for the high school that my goddaughter is heading that way, and I wish them luck managing that. But I think they'll do all right with it.
And I
So,
think they're going to be fine.
the Lake Conomic groundbreaking for the improved pumping capabilities in Lake Conomic through the New London treatment plant, which will benefit the town of East Lyme, and I think is a direct result of our partnership and the plans to go more regional in nature happened a few weeks ago. You all know about the town meeting where we approved all the things that we did, and I attended 2 Beach Association annual meetings, Giant Neck Heights and Attawan, over the last few weeks. And up at the Emergency Operations Center, we convened a hurricane drill in conjunction with the state. We talked about our contracts. I went to various meetings that I always go to throughout the state. And then finally, the fan favorite video, they came and taped me as part of the video. You remember last year I sang. This year I had been practicing, and they had refused to allow me to sing in this year's video. So
Do you get to dance?
I didn't dance.
No
They
tango?
made me stand. They made me stand very quiet and look at. I had Kate and Kelly Eberly there, so I was outclassed from the beginning, so.
Yeah.
So the fan favorite video, I bring that up, is going on. We need to defend our title, so we're asking folks to vote every day. You can vote once a day. You can get to our website, eltownhall.com, and link on to the fan favorite video to see if we can win the second year in a row. And on Fridays, they announce the standings, and I think last Friday we were number 1. Putnam was number 2. Yeah, Putnam is an up-and-coming town, a lot of antiquing in Putnam there. So, not Dave Putnam.
The whole town is
An
Antique.
yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, so we have a serious challenge, and I hope everybody votes, and that's my report.
The first selectman having mentioned the town website, I had a chance to look at it today. It was looking pretty good. There's a whole new look, so if you haven't checked it recently, I presume this means that some of our technical issues have been resolved.
As a result of the hacking, Carmen has rebuilt the whole thing with help from an outside group, and they've really been much improved in terms of user friendliness and the ability to store information. And for those of you who want to watch us again, at any time, you could go to the town YouTube channel at 3 a.m. and pull up any meeting that you like.
And that will put you back to sleep.
And then you
Yes.
can watch that. And one last thing before we go to public comment.
Discipline your children.
Mr. Bialowans has come here 5 times and talked about this issue. I have gone up there and directed Mr. Smith to go up there. There's nothing for him to inspect unless we take apart some of the walls there, which he's been hesitant to do. And as you heard him say, he's in this disagreement with his contractor or whatever is going on. So I'm not going to get in the middle of that. So I apologize for that. But I have moved forward, and I do have a list of the addresses on Walnut Hill Road. I went up and spent a wonderful hour and a half with Mrs. Fletcher up there to talk about some of the issues up on Walnut Hill Road. We toured the solar farm and went up and down the road, and at which point I noted all the damaged curbs. So Mr. Burgaw is working on that. So I apologize. I don't want you to think that I'm not working on that, but it's hard to bring that to everybody's attention. So that's where we are.
Mr. Bourgeois is working on this, but I assume that we're going to be reimbursed for any work that has to be done on the curbing?
Well, the curbing, according to Mr. Bialowans, was broken by the CLMP, but we have curbing broken all over the town from town snowplows. So I brought it to Mr. Kasperzak's attention. I don't know what we're gonna get or how we can prove that it was broken by CLMP, but that's why I gave the numbers to Mr. Burgaw about, where the addresses are, and maybe we can back it in and get a little something, so it's.
What about the
tough
work
case.
on the solar farm that, where they were driving over curbing and entry roads? There any responsibility there?
We're trying to get that solar farm buttoned up with the water issues on site. So I think the curbing is a whole thing. We're just going to talk about it. I think the fact that we just built that road and it's everybody's kind of holding on to that road because of the possession of it. So we'll see, but it's moving, and Joe is looking at it. So I'll update your report if next time.
Thank you. It was withdrawn from the agenda this evening, draft motion 2A, care here. There wasn't anything in our packets, so I assume we get something in our packets the next time if you plan to have it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Well, there's nothing in your packet because I've been working with the attorneys both for the town and with Care here on the contract. And as I said, the attorney got sick, so we weren't able to meet the deadline enough to get that to you, which is why I pulled it. So once that contract is, then I'm going to provide you all that information so that you have that to review with plenty of time, because it's a substantial and worthy investment, I think. So, further comment? Shall we adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for watching.
night.
See you next time.